Am I the asshole today? I told my sister to get out of my house.
My sister has been living with us for the past 4 years. On and off paying some towards bills. When she can't afford I ask she helps around the house. I've paid her phone bill the past 2 years. I also am the only one putting money towards groceries. The past several months she hasn't paid anything towards bill, claiming she's worrying about herself. Not that she can't afford it. But now she refuses to help out around the house when I ask small tasks like when you're home can you let my dogs out once or twice when I'm not and can you take the trash out when you see it's full. Nothing too crazy. Today I went to check on my dogs via my pet camera and overheard her calling myself whole bunch of hateful names on the phone with someone. It really hurt my feelings because since she was 18 I have been the only family member willing to help her out. Our mother didn't want her after she turned 18. I lost my temper and told her I've tried so hard to make sure she has a roof above her head, even giving her one of our cars so she had a vehicle, to which she responded, "You've never taken care of me, I've been the only one taking care of myself." In the heat of things I told her, "Fine, then pack your stuff and get out of my home since I don't do anything for you, then you can figure out life without me." Now I feel like I might be the asshole. So am I the asshole?
Not the asshole. Your sister is 22 years old and she needs to grow up some time. She's been freeloading off you for 4 years. She can't live her life like a perpetual teenager forever.
It's time for her to put whatever life skills she has to the test or she learns them quickly, especially if she thinks to disparage someone who has provided for her for 4 years.
Actions have consequences.
The fact that she doesn't seem to see your kindness and help towards her means she's taking you for granted. Secondly, she's ain't making any progress and completely dependent on you.
It's better for you to kick her out. Legit, not the asshole. Not the asshole, but please stop being a doormat for your entitled sister. Kick her out and don't look back. However, in a week or so she'll message you begging to come back and a bunch of bullshit about how she'll change. Don't believe a word of it.
Not the asshole if you don't make her grow up and take responsibility for herself. She never will.
She is living with you for free, eating food for free, driving a car for free. And yet she's acting to friends as if you do nothing for her?
She's 22 now? And demanding you take care of and support her?
Oh no. You need to cut the cord now for your own good and for hers. Pack her stuff and put it on the front lawn. Change the locks. You've done enough. It's been 4 years and she's made no progress on becoming independent? Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for refusing to hang out less with my brothers because of my stepsister?
I, 18F, am the youngest of 4 siblings.
I have 3 older brothers, Michael, 28M, John, 27M, and Chris, 25M.
Our mother passed away when I was 8, and since then, my father, 53M, and my brothers have been quite protective of me.
I had father-daughter date nights with my dad and movie nights with my brothers, among other things. I think that was their way of making sure I didn't feel lonely. Last year, my father got married to Melissa, 45F. She, with her daughter Ashley, 18F, moved in with us. I always got the sense that Ashley didn't like me. She would talk to my dad and my brothers, but she never talked to me. Whenever I tried to talk to her, she would answer curtly and then walk away. I never understood why, or if I did something to her, but after a few weeks of trying to get along with her without success, I gave up. We were civil to each other and that was enough. My brothers were also on the fence about her.
She keeps insisting to be invited to our movie nights, but she would always demand to see a movie she liked even if none of us liked it, and she kept trying to cuddle with my brothers, which they find uncomfortable and weird because they don't really know her. Chris actually told her to knock it off because he didn't like that she was so touchy with him. Recently I had my 18th birthday. It was fun and low-key and I got wonderful gifts. The next day Ashley came to me and told me that it was unfair that my brother's gifts to me were better than their gifts to her for her birthday last June. For context, my brothers each gave her a $200 gift card to different stores so she can buy what she liked, because they didn't really know her. They gave her gifts to be civil.
My brothers got me a personalized perfume, a signed copy of an entire book series that I've been obsessed about lately, and a personalized planner with messages and quotes on each page. I will admit that they put more thoughts into my gifts, but I think it's fair since they don't really know her. But then Ashley started crying, saying that I always got everything and she got nothing, and she then demanded I stop hanging out with them and said that if I didn't hang out with my brothers so much, then they would pay more attention to her.
She also wanted me to tell them to treat her like they treated me because she was also their sister now.
I told her that I won't force my brothers to do something they didn't like. She insisted that I call my brothers right that moment, to tell them that I would hang out less with them and that they should get Ashley better gifts. I refused.
Apparently she told her friends and cousins, because I've been getting messages from them telling me I'm a spoiled, selfish kid, so I'm second-guessing myself.
So, am I the asshole? Not the asshole.
Why is your stepsister so concerned with having a good relationship with your brothers but not you?
I find that behavior so weird. I don't like to jump to conclusions, but this need to get along with your brothers and being jealous of the relationship you have with them screams insecure to me. She's practically a stranger to all of you. Over time the relationship between all of you should naturally develop, but she can't be expected to be treated like a sister already, especially when she is so cold towards you. I'm pretty sure your brothers pick up on that and it'll only make them like her less.
Your stepsis needs to back way off.
I don't even want to start with the fact that she tried to cuddle with your brothers. That's a whole other story. Not the asshole. What the hell is wrong with Ashley? She's acting weird and low-key creepy.
Your brothers don't owe her any affection or gifts.
Being jealous of their affection for you is weird. Trying to bond with your adult stepbrothers by cuddling with them is weird. Crying on your birthday and demanding that your brothers ditch you for her is weird.
Sounds like she's trying to take your place in your sibling dynamic.
Or weirder, she has crushes on your brothers and is jealous that they're not paying attention to her. Whichever is still bad. Not the asshole, but you should tell your dad and brother what she demanded from you. I'm worried she's going to end up twisting things and make you the bad guy. Not the asshole. You grew up with your brothers, and you have a close relationship. Ashley is unknown. I really think you all need to have a family meeting, because this can spiral out of control. It actually already is spiraling out of control. If you hold the meeting, show them the messages and tell them what Ashley demanded.
Do not lessen your time with your brothers just because she said so.
They love you and would be hurt by it. She is probably embellishing the story to her friends, cousins if they are messaging you in such a nasty way, so don't let them gaslight you, assuming your account of this is accurate. If she wrote what you are explaining, she would sound like a crackhead. I would bring this up with your brothers and father and ask them to mediate. Don't let misunderstandings fester between you and the people you actually care about. Not the asshole. Ashley is quite the pick-me girl, isn't she? And her behavior towards your brothers is not in the least sisterly. She's irrationally jealous of the closeness you all have, which cannot be duplicated on demand and is not likely to happen at all since your brothers are grown men and you and Ashley are young adults, though Ashley sounds immature. I too would loop in your brothers and dad on this. If I were one of your brothers, I'd be really pissed. Are your brothers good looking?
That could be a factor.
Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for not allowing my siblings, half-siblings, to come to my house? My siblings are technically half-siblings through our mom. But we're very close and we never used half with each other. They live with their dad since our mom died 18 months ago. Right now they're 13 female and 15 male. I'm 24 male. My mom was divorced from my siblings' dad long before she died. Their dad remarried several years ago and he has 2 more kids who are younger than 7 or 8. Those 2 kids are the half-siblings in question. I say they're my siblings' half-siblings because my siblings use half and they are not close to them like they are with me. I know this from my siblings.
Their dad hates it.
It bothers him most of all that they just call me their brother while they always used the half with his kids. Now that my siblings are a bit more independent, they come to my house more and their dad doesn't like it.
He has tried to stop them, but they fought against him and in the end he relented because I guess he didn't want to alienate them further. Their half-siblings have asked questions about where they go, can they come, etc.
My siblings spent the weekend with me.
Their dad called me up the day before and said his other kids wanted to come and asked if I'd have them Friday afternoon and he'd pick them up at 8 p.m. that day.
He said since my siblings are so close to me, he thinks it would be better if I started to include his other kids. I told him I wasn't going to have his other kids over. He asked why and I told him I'm not his babysitter. He told me I never see having my siblings as babysitting and I said it's because they're my siblings and I want to spend time with them. He told me it would bring everyone together if I accepted his other kids and letting them come to my house on occasion would be a nice start. He offered me $50 for the trouble. I still said no. He decided to bring his other kids when he dropped my siblings off. And he asked again where his other kids could hear. I said no again and his youngest started crying. He called my sister on Saturday to speak to me.
He then tore me a new one for making his daughter cry and not allowing his kids into my home. He said it wasn't like they were spending the whole weekend, just a few hours where they could be with my siblings and maybe we'd all bond and everyone would be better for it. He said clearly I'm too much of an asshole for that, but that one day I'll have to answer to his younger kids about why I alienated my siblings from them.
I told him it's not my fault my siblings aren't close to his kids and he said I'm old enough to help but refused even in front of the kids. He called me a petty asshole. Am I the asshole? It's your home. You're not obligated to let anyone visit.
It sounds like your dad is looking for a sitter.
Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. I have a feeling if he stopped pushing this agenda, your siblings' halves wouldn't get upset.
Was his daughter crying because he told her she could come to your house, making her expect she could come in?
Can you speak to his wife about this?
What he's doing is cruel, and if he calls you to yell again, just tell him you're sorry he feels that way and hang up. There's no point in talking to him. Not the asshole. Your former stepfather sure is an asshole though. It's all on him that his daughter cried and was upset.
He clearly thought you would cave so not to upset the child, which is manipulative AF.
You put it best when you said that you are not his babysitter. Your siblings' relationship with your ex-stepdad's other kids is not your responsibility. Not the asshole. He's had 7-8 years to build bonds among all of his children.
He apparently couldn't be bothered and now expects you to do it?
Nah. Not the asshole. Your dad is, though, for the way he went about it.
If he wants all the kids to bond, then he should be hosting events at his house, or out at a park or the beach or whatever, not inside your home. That's very pushy, like all he wanted was a sitter. You didn't make his little one cry, he did, by taking her to your house uninvited and hoping you would bend under the pressure.
I'm glad you stood your ground.
Tell him if his goal is family bonding, he needs to lose his potty mouth, stop swearing at you and take responsibility for bringing all his kids together at events he hosts. Not the asshole, and neither are your siblings. It's not your responsibility in the least, and while I'm sure it's tough on the little kids, there's a reason why your siblings are not close with their half-siblings, and I'm sure their dad is the major reason why.
Am I the asshole for not considering my friend's celiac disease when baking? So me and my friends had a dinner party and as per usual the people who are not hosting bring drinks, dessert, and I brought a dessert. I decided to bake an apple pie because everyone liked them and mine are quite good.
One of the people attending has celiac disease, but I chose to make the pie normally because it was double the work to have to thoroughly clean everything once or twice. The ingredients with no lactose and gluten were a lot more expensive, and the dough would not come out well or as tasty if I used a bunch of replacements. Baking is very ingredient sensitive. Be that as it may, when I arrived I explicitly told her that the pie was not made in any special way, so I advised her not to eat it. She made a big deal out of it, called me an idiot and said that I could have at least made the effort, but I don't see why I had to, since it wasn't even her dinner party.
So, am I the asshole?
Everyone sucks here. My husband is gluten-free due to celiac and he doesn't want people to go out of their way for him. That being said, when we have done potluck dinners, people have at least made an effort to include him, such as made a pie but brought him a small container of a store-bought gluten-free dessert such as cookies. It sounds like you spent so much time explaining why you couldn't make something girlfriend that you didn't consider what you could do.
Also, when I make gluten-free and non-GF, I just make the girlfriend item first because then it just takes a quick rinse to clean for the version with gluten. Soft, you're the asshole. You could have baked some of the apples in a ramekin for her and it would have been no trouble. Now she feels excluded and hurt. Maybe apologize to keep the peace in your friend group. What did everyone else bring? I mean, did she bring food she could eat?
Did everyone else accommodate her or no?
I'm curious why she singled you out.
And I'm sorry, if anyone called me an idiot I'd probably not consider them a friend.
Not the asshole.
You let her know it wasn't safe for her to eat, that was all the requirement necessary. People who have food allergies or intolerances should not expect everyone to adjust their cooking, baking to their needs.
I had a friend with celiacs who once told me that there was no need to try to accommodate her because she wouldn't eat it anyway, because of the risk that I'd made a mistake and gluten had got in anyway. Any little bit of gluten could cause her massive pain. Your friend's fit does not make sense to me and neither do all these YTs. Like I tell my 6yo. You don't always get dessert. Not the asshole.
You made a choice to bring a dessert that would be enjoyable for the majority of the guests while being considerate enough to inform your friend with celiac disease that the pie wasn't gluten-free. It is not unreasonable to make a dish that caters to most people's preferences and dietary needs. When planning a gathering, it's impossible to accommodate every single guest's dietary restrictions and preferences. Your friend's frustration might stem from feeling excluded or not considered, but it doesn't justify the way they reacted towards you. As long as you make an effort to inform her of the ingredients, you did your part in being considerate of her dietary restrictions.